Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us this episode and this segment taking place at Titanium Real Estate Network. I'm here today sharing new values, and all this is to go and support our GoFundMe at gofundme.com/journey back to Myanmar, where we get to feed orphans and support the needy. And what better than to talk about success and talk about life. And today we're going to talk about the path to making six figures. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. You've been with Rudy for how long? Tell me a little bit about yourself and your path to, where you are today.
Okay, so my name's Alex. I've been with the team since March of 2013. I came into the real estate field and to the team as a fresh agent. I did not have any experience. License was still on the way when I came here. I did have a background in sales. I did financial sales and insurance probably 3 years prior to. So coming out of college, I've seen the team grow. As far as seniority goes, I'm fourth in seniority, and we've seen it explode from the 3, 4, or 5 people that would normally come into the office to regularly we're seeing 30, and agents wise, I think the network reaches past 60 or 70 people at this point.
Wow.
So we've seen a lot of success. We've seen a lot of people go too. I've seen just about everybody come and go. Right before Kyle came in, which was kind of the catalyst for the team to really get going. We had, I think at that point, they were thinking about disbanding this whole network altogether.
Wow.
They're thinking about not doing it. Why do this? Let's just lean on the traditional real estate agent way of life and then go forward from there. Luckily, that wasn't the case. I added on fairly early into this process, and since then, it's been something that's I've thrived in. I've seen people also thrive in this situation, very different than myself. I came in here fresh, didn't know what a contract was, didn't know what escrow was, didn't know what lenders and title and all those things do that we talk about in the home buying purchase process. But you learn, you pick it up, you become an expert in your field, you provide value, and ultimately, we're out there to help our clients.
Gotcha.
Buy and sell.
Talking about people who may not be in the industry or are looking into the industry, studies found that the national average of active real estate agents' annual income salary or annual earnings are roughly $40,000.
Ballpark, yeah.
Ballpark figures. There's a lot of people who hold on to the licenses and aren't as active that are taken into consideration. But for the active members, it's about $40,000. But for the Titanium Real Estate Network, your average medium is about $100,000 in earnings. And that's not necessarily because you're selling big ticket items, but more of volume, right?
No, yeah. So our bread and butter leading up into today has been primarily your middle market, your kind of middle class, maybe even lower middle class type homes. We're not talking about multi-million-dollar estates typically at this point. 90% of our sales probably comprise of anywhere between 300, even 200 to maybe $800,000, which in Southern California, I don't know where our audience is watching from, but in Southern California, it's a starter home or less than that sometimes.
Wow, yeah. And what we've discovered through these series and episode is how Titanium Real Estate Network differs from other brokerages. We've examined other veteran agents who've spent years at other brokerages and realized that they weren't getting the marketing support or the training support that was really giving them an edge over competition, whereas everyone else. But here, you've compartmentalized certain elements of marketing, video department, and so that a lot of the agents aren't prospecting. So tell us, as far as the day in the life for you. You've been in this industry, you've been working with the team for 5 years, so you kind of have a sort of routine, right? And because you've been fortunate enough to just be here, how do you have to prospect at all? Is cold calling, all those stuff even coming into effect at all to you anymore?
So the background that I came from, financial sales, life insurance sales, you have to do your own prospecting. They dedicated a day a week. So Monday was our dedication day to calling. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. we were calling. That's not my strength. It's not my skill set. I'm not very good at it, and I probably could improve, but that was something that I was looking to deviate from. So when I first came to the team, one of the things that Rudy said was, hey, look, we're putting the support behind you. we're putting all the systems in place in the background so that you can do what you are actually good at, which is going to be face-to-face interactions with the clientele, which is going to be explaining to them what the process is because they do it so infrequently.
Yeah, most people don't buy or sell, the average 10 years, It's a big ordeal. It's a life-changing, decision, and it's more money than they ever deal with typically. So when it comes to what you do, what are maybe I can pick your brain on, what are some of your favorite stories of getting to serve the clients in all their aspects of the needs? Because most of the time what we discovered is that agents have so much time dedicated to prospecting that they don't have enough time to actually service the clients in a fast, reliable, responsive way to take them from transaction A all the way to Z. But with this new strategy, this new formula, you're able to take a lot more. And as we said in this subject title, the path to making a net $100,000. We're not talking about just gross. We're talking about net, and that's not. And because you're talking about serving the medium, marketplace, you're not selling big ticket items. You're not selling a $6 million home and easily netting, the six figures. You're talking about a lot of grunt work, but in a way where you don't have to spend so much time wasted in cold calling, prospecting, being an annoying telemarketer, for example. So tell me I hope that gives you enough time to tell me one of your favorite stories.
Because our job descriptions is very specific. We don't do the telemarketing, we don't handle any of the prospecting, we don't have to pay for any of those things as well. So that really leaves us with a certain, we have a lot of time to do one very specific thing, and that's service a client, whatever that entails. Sometimes that entails actually taking them on, seeing houses. If you're on the buy side, if you're on the sell side, it just means explaining to them the process, dealing with their day-to-day life. I have one right now where, the seller happens to be an 87-year-old woman. She currently lives in Rancho Cucamonga. She has rental property over in Azusa. She doesn't really want to deal with it anymore. So it's up to us to really be chameleon, and really be what we need to be in the moment. What that means to me is that whatever it is that she needs to get that process done to achieve her goal of relinquishing the property, taking those funds, putting it towards her kids' college education, is what we're going to do, right? And these things, we take it for granted because it is, in essence, a transaction, but that's someone's largest transaction typically in their life up into that point. So I've seen the sale of homes allow people to go to college. I've seen the purchase of homes allow people to start their lives together, to have a family, to grow their family. I have numerous clients where, we buy the home and they're pregnant when we buy the home. I come back 3, 4, 5 months later and we have a kid. Hi, Ella.
Wow.
And you've seen those things, you've seen the family grow. It's just a moment in their life, but it's good to know that, we're able to be a part of that. Whether on the buy or sell side, it doesn't really matter because it is a life-changing event. Selling a property is never something that doesn't reverberate through the rest of their lives.
So it's a big, it's fun because it's a big deal. Yet, when it comes to the importance of being responsive, most agents are pretty much having their hands tied with what they're taught, and that's just prospecting.
Which is a lot, yeah. A lot of 90% of the trainers that you see out there typically, say prospecting is key. Prospecting is key. Follow up is key. Which is true, but us as the OSAs, the outside sales agent force, we really want to be there for our clients as much as possible. And if prospecting takes time away from that, we need to take steps to compartmentalize some of that stuff that the team has done for us, and then we step up and we do what we're good at.
So what are some of the strategies as far as compartmentalizing that is most efficient or effective that you've seen? For example, we learned that Titanium Real Estate Network has a media department, has a marketing department, has a lead generator department. You guys are able to get listings that aren't on the MLS, before they go on the MLS, so that your buyers have exclusive looks at certain things. So from all these elements that have worked, and maybe you can even give us an idea of because you don't even have to you still have to do listing presentations?
We do. It's an abbreviated version now. It's geared towards a much different conversation than you would typically with a traditional real estate forum. Yes, all the systems that support us, the marketing side, the lead generation side, allow us to have more time to focus on those important things. The presentation is not a full-blown presentation in the sense that we're not educating anybody about how we market homes anymore, because large majority of technology has made that obsolete. People will find homes that are actively on the market online, right? Now, having access to the homes that are off market and those things do help. But as far as the presentation itself goes, it's a much higher level conversation that we're having about how we're generating more demand for a property, because ultimately demand dictates price, it dictates terms that the seller is after typically. Everybody's situation is a little bit different, but presentation is fairly short as far as that stuff goes. Once you know it, once you understand the systems and the inner workings behind us and behind me and the team, it's a lot easier to vocalize that as well.
I see. So to wrap this up, our segment here today is no more than 15 minutes so that you guys can really get the most value without having to spend too much time. I want to summarize what we talked about today. We talked about your experience going through Titanium Real Estate Network and having the benefit of compartmentalizing all these values so that you can focus on what you do best, which is serve the client. We were talking about how you are earning way more than the national average as a Titanium Real Estate Network agent, as far as making 6 figures and above. What would your 5-year takeaway be if you were to give an agent that was coming into the office brand new, rookie, or a veteran agent that is kind of not satisfied with the brokers that he's working with before? What do you think are the top 3 keys to your sustainability and success that you think that they should know about that most people wouldn't get off the bat?
I think the biggest thing for a new rookie agent is intimidation. You can't be intimidated by someone who says that they have 20, 30 years underneath them. Because 20, 30 years, most agents in our industry sell between 4 to 6 homes a year on average. In the team, being with the team, I can do that in a month if I really push to do so.
Wow.
So it's not so much about the years you have under your belt. It's really about how to operate in a changing environment. We're in an industry now that has heavily shifted towards technology, heavily shifted towards different ways of accessing the buyers and sellers and connecting those together. So, you being new, you have the ability to do something special. You have the ability to take that a step further. As far as agents that have been around for a long time, you can't hold your experience over someone as well. Things change, contracts change. I regularly run into agents that I can talk circles around them with regards to the contract, with regards to negotiations. It's because they're set in their ways to the point where that's great, that may work for you 5-10 years ago, but the reality is that everything's kind of shifting at this point. So when they come in here, we do have to spend extra time with the older agents, the experienced agents, in order to kind of erase some of the things that they've done and they've made a habit to themselves. So keep an open mind with those. You will find success if you find your niche. Everybody's personality, everybody's way of doing things on the team is a little bit different. However, we give you a path to run on. So if you follow that path, you'll find success. It's how you implement it, how you really personalize it, that determine your long-term success or not. I had a fun run here for 5+ years now. Anticipate having a couple more years of fun, and then I'm gonna bounce too.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys like what you see, comment questions below. We'd love to hear more about your suggestions. If you have any inquiries, make sure you guys check out Titanium Real Estate Network. Today's episode is in support of Feeding Orphans with Beyond the Influence team, powered by Zao Studios, a journey back to Myanmar. And up next, we're going to be talking about women in the workplace, social media, and how it's important and imperative for your business future and how to stay on top of the trends, because this is a changing market nonstop every day. We have new social medias, new platforms to reach the target demographic, because nobody likes to get a phone call like they used to back in the days. Telemarketers, another thing in the past. Cold calling, door-to-door knocking. Yeah, it's a
tough business for them.
It's a tough business for them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys tag, share, and stay tuned for more. See you guys.
Are you thinking of selling your home? This is John Cobelt with important facts for home sellers. Why waste time with an ordinary agent? Call my friend and agent, Rudy Kusuma. Rudy may already have a buyer for your home. Rudy has thousands of qualified buyers in his exclusive Buyers in Waiting program. The fact is, Rudy Kusuma has more buyers, which means more money and a faster sale for you. Call the only one I would trust to sell my home. Call Rudy now at 855-RUDY-SELLS, 855-RUDY-SELLS, or RudyHasTheBuyers.com, RudyHasTheBuyers.com.